Alright, welcome to another episode of Hot Rod City. I've dragged home more junk today. Probably more than I need. But my wife's rule, as long as she can get into her spot in the driveway, I can bring as much junk home as I want. So what we have here is a 1978 Camaro. It's bare bones, roll-up windows, no air conditioning. For the most part, the normal rust. There's normal rust. There's no normal rust. The trunk pan seems to be intact. I haven't gone fully into it. There's still carpet in it. The carpet looks pretty ratty, but from underneath the car, it looked good. The whole front core support is underneath where the radiator mounts and everything is pretty much gone. This was a Maryland car all its life. The guy I bought it from, I'm semi-acquaintances with. His mom bought it brand new. She used to commute to DC in it in the early 80s. And then once that was over with, it was parked and it's sat ever since. So headliner's pulling down. I haven't even tried to crank it over yet, but I got it for a really good deal. We struck a deal this morning. I had to go back to the trailer and everything, and I got to go back later and meet him to get the title from him. So, like I said, it's pretty much bare bones car. It's a V8 car. I don't know if it's 305 or 350. His whole family is big into GTOs, so this they didn't really care about. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting this thing off the trailer. Maybe find a battery for it. This thing's been sitting so long, it actually has what's called an auto track battery in it, which, if I'm not mistaken, is from the old Track auto parts stores. It's like one of the first big box. That Track Auto and Pep Boys and stuff from back in the day. I think they're all advanced auto parts now. I'm not really sure. So it does have sway bars. It's got the 15s. I think they're 15. So get it off, and it's just going to be a reoccurring project for me. If it runs, I'm going to do what I can, get it roadworthy, and take the tags off the V8 Subaru that I've been tagged and insured just for right many years that have been not moved out of the garage. And then once the new garage is built, we'll get back on that. Let's get this unloaded. Here, hold this monster.
You guys go home?
Let's see if we can run it into some stuff. Ooh, there she goes. Upon further investigation, it appears that this has a 305 in it. So might have to do a motor swap, put a 350 in it, or doesn't look like any of the critters have gotten through the air filter. All around it though. So I checked the oil looks good. Radiator's dropped pretty much. I'll have to make a lower mount for that, or to find the core support, one or the other. Looks like the battery tray is gone as well. But we do have Keithro's jump box because we have his trailer. Just for giggles. We'll see if it doesn't. I've gotten my first gnarly surprise on this car. So I put a battery in it the other day. And I turn the key, I get nothing. So start to investigate. I pull out the head switch for the headlights, and the only thing I get are the 2 marker lights and running lights on the rear and the backup lights on the rear. So my first guess is an ignition switch. This is an old car, it's been sitting for 20 years. So I went ahead and I went to my local auto parts store and got this ignition switch. It was only like $13. So went ahead and got it, and while I was looking into it, I got a gnarly surprise. You see that? There's a bunch of light down there. What that means is a cowl panel, the drains more than likely got clogged at some point in time, and water was always sitting in the cowl and just rusted it out. Normally I'd attribute this to somebody leaving it under a tree or just leaving junk in it. But the rust, all the paint's missing off of it, it's rusted out. I mean, got tons of surface rust, normal rust right here, right above where it sits, but I don't find any leaves. So this thing's been sitting next to a garage, and there's no trees anywhere near it. It wasn't, so. But that was, like I said, I was told it's been sitting for 20 years. Who knows what was 10 years ago? But I got this car because it's complete. If I get too far into it and find out that there's a lot of structural damage, I can park this car out for other purposes. You know, it's got 4 matching wheels and tires. It's got interior, like I don't have these seats for my Trans Am. So, and not a lot of the plastic in here is any good, but they make replacements. I may be able to take them and halfway repair them and make molds of them. Make custom stuff, who knows? We'll see how far that gets me. But also, if I've had a few individuals tell me that when they're rust out like that, that means there's not a lot holding it with the cowl. But from where I'm looking, it doesn't look bad. Like it's just a hole about yay big, but it doesn't go up the sides or nothing. And one of the places I buy parts is just Classic Industries. I have a few of their catalogs because I have quite a few cars. I don't have the Camaro one, but I have the Trans Am, which is pretty much body-wise very similar. And they sell the patch panel for that and the upper dash panel. So I'm just gonna tinker with this car, and at some point in time, if I get the next project ready, I might dive into this. But in the meantime, I plan to just block the cowl off completely. Only part of the cowl is to suck fresh air in for heat, for air conditioning. This car has no air conditioning. If I use the heat, it'll just draw the heat from the inside. I'm not worried about fresh air. I can roll the windows down. So like I said, I'm closer to looking for more of like a beater car. Something to just tinker with. That's a giant freaking ant. Something to beat around in, and better than a Civic, I guess you could say, because I don't want to get caught driving around in some raggedy little 4-banger. Except maybe the Escort. That's getting turbo. No. I gotta have something cool to drive. I'll get to this. So I put a new ignition switch in, and I'm not getting anything out of it starting wise. So what I'm gonna do, not do, but what I've technically already done. Man, damn, it's full of crap. Is I hooked up the starter button. I'm getting power at the distributor. I'm just not with the key on. Well, that starter doesn't sound too happy. Got a little smoke coming off of it, but also, this thing hasn't been started in 20 years.